Story 1. I can perform complex tasks incredibly well, but I struggle with simple ones. Story 2. I can grow a decent beard if I take care of it, but I have an awful hairline. Both traits come from my mom, strangely enough. Story 3. Autism. I have a unique ability to think in many dimensions simultaneously and actively build and test physical concepts in my mind's eye before creating them. This makes me very good at science. My father shares the same trait. On the other hand, the effects of my autism have nearly cost me my life. I can feel pain, but I struggle to interpret its severity. I almost died of sepsis because my sore tummy was actually a serious abdominal infection. I face significant challenges in communicating about medical issues. Hyperfocus can be difficult. So can the effort of trying to connect and socialize with others, often resulting in failure. Story 4. I often receive compliments on my dark blue-gray eyes, but they are incredibly sensitive to light. I have been known to wear sunglasses even when it is cloudy and raining. Story 5. I have a good body and the perfect waist-to-hip ratio. However, I am an autistic introvert who rarely leaves the house and struggles with social skills. Story 6. Blessed. Pattern recognition. Decreased. Persistent refusal to accept pattern recognition regarding people's actions. Story 7. I have a gene that provides a high pain tolerance at the cost of resistance to pain medication. Story 8. Intelligence. I was smart enough to learn too late that it isn't enough on its own. I never learned the skills to study. I also have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which means creativity, good lateral thinking skills, boundless curiosity, and the inability to finish or master anything once I feel I have grasped the basics. Story 9. Almost everyone here has a comprehension issue. Due to early graying, I can be mistaken for an older person with good skin. Senior citizens tend to receive better treatment at banks, stores, and government offices. However, many people in public assume I am an inappropriate older man when I go out on a date. I have heard whispers like, "He's a predator," or "She is just after his money." Story 10. Empathy. I've been fortunate to be a best man on 5 different occasions and have had some amazing relationships. However, the number of times I have come in second to someone toxic in my life is beyond count. I used to think that the saying, "nice guys finish last," was a cliché, but karma is an unpredictable force. Story 11. I have never had a headache in my life. I am always hot, constantly sweating. In -10 degrees Celsius, I am comfortable in a shirt and jeans. In summer, it's unbearable. Story 12. I believe I was naturally gifted with athleticism and curiosity, though I struggle with a genetic predisposition to depression that I must overcome every moment of every day. Story 13. Genetic potential for significant muscle gains and exceptional strength. Lack of motivation to utilize it. Story 14. I have a glorious beard with red and blonde hairs that I can shape and grow as I please. Story 15. I'm very petite and can pretty much eat whatever I want without thinking about it, except for cilantro. I live in Texas near the border, and I feel like I offend everyone around me when I ask for it to be left out in a public setting. Story 16. I am 190 centimeters tall and a skinny guy with an unnaturally long wingspan, making it nearly impossible to find shirts that fit. However, I possess remarkable leverage strength. I can arm wrestle individuals 2 to 3 times my size with ease and lift 100 kilograms with one hand from the floor without struggle, despite not working out. I weigh 76 kilograms. I suppose there's some unusual physics at play, and it's quite impressive. Story 17. In my youth, I was attractive and had a massive head of hair. At the same time, I was blind and had weak lungs, and I still do. Story 18. My fast metabolism keeps me slim, but it also makes it difficult to gain muscle mass. I just need to work out more. Story 19. Size. I am 6 feet 6 inches tall and large. This is beneficial for certain activities, but statistically, I will have a shorter lifespan than an average-sized person. Story 20. I have good facial features, but my jaw and hairline are odd. On a good hair day, my curly or wavy hair is a blessing, but when it frizzes, I look like a poodle. Additionally, There is a random chunk of dead straight hair behind my ear that will not hold a curl, no matter what. Story 21. Photographic memory. I can remember what I need to remember, but also what I cannot. And it's all very clear. 1 to 5 stars, easily. Story 22. Good looks and a smooth talker, yet I always sabotage myself. Literally, with every step I take, I feel as if I'm taking 20 steps back. I don't even recognize the life I've built from pure loathing, contempt, and failure. If I were a match, I would have burned out long ago. Story 23. I'm always hyper-aware of every micro-expression of everyone around me, so I am rarely wrong about how someone feels. However, people are aware of this, so they try to hide their feelings because sometimes it is personal. Story 24. Built like a strong man from the past. A combination of ADHD, autism, and giftedness, like a supercharged V12 engine paired with a transmission from a compact car. Story 25. Autism. When at work analyzing problems, I often see connections and patterns that others do not. I have a very analytical mind and I am a quick thinker. I am not afraid to speak my mind. I am funny, brutally honest, and very direct. I struggle with executive functioning and have difficulties initiating tasks. I do not recognize emotions, either my own or those of others, except for anger. Life often feels like wading through deep mud. I can be short-tempered, miserable, and sometimes quite depressed. I dislike social constructs where people pretend to be polite. In my eyes, those individuals are dishonest or even deceptive. I find it hard to trust them, which complicates social interactions. My directness and brutal honesty can sometimes hurt others' feelings, which is never my intention, but it happens nonetheless. Story 26. I am tall, fairly intelligent, and not terrible looking. I am also good at most things. However, I cannot handle social situations. I feel desperately lonely but find it difficult to put myself in a situation that might lead to conversation, let alone romance. Story 27. Many people value physical appearances, but sometimes one just wants to wear what they like without drawing unwanted attention. Story 28. I use a computer all the time, both at work and outside of work. I still do not need to wear glasses. However, my hearing is poor. I struggle to hear people speak unless they speak loudly and slowly while facing me. Story 29. Tall, broad, and handsome like a 30-year-old version of Taylor Lautner, but he is not very intelligent, has asthma, and suffers from excessive sweating. Story 30. Not being able to gain weight is challenging. I can eat whatever I want, but I am built like a twig, and I am trying to build muscle. Story 31. I have very nice hair, but I struggle with my mental health. I don't mind as much because I feel lucky to be alive. Story 32. I am both double-jointed and have overly short tendons, depending on the joint. I feel both challenged and fortunate in different ways. Story 33. I haven't been smaller than a full cup size since my teens. But not only can I roll over on them, so can my husband. Story 34. Good brain with no headaches, hearty constitution, and can eat anything considered food. However, there are definite tendencies toward easily gaining weight. Story 35. Giant breasts on a smaller frame look nice, and I can use them to hold things, but it's hard to find clothes. I am 25 years old and experience chronic upper back pain. My spine literally pops into place when I lie down on the ground. Story 36. I could say that I was blessed with nice facial harmony, but I dealt with acne as a teenager, so now I tend to expect people to see only my acne scars. Story 37. Blessed with atypical intelligence and challenged by undiagnosed attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and autism, I still managed to perform well, achieving a master's degree with minimal effort. However, I never truly excelled. It took nearly 40 years of external validation for me to actually believe that I was exceptional. Story 38. I receive help requests from family members for various tasks that are not labor-intensive. Story 39. I can cosplay any Zonite, vampire, or just an extremely pale character without trying. I am allergic to the sun, and it is very frustrating. My skin is sensitive even in winter and spring, My eyes hurt, and I cannot truly enjoy any vacation. Story 40. I have really pretty blue eyes, but I have both poor eyesight and astigmatism that need to be corrected. Story 41. I can dislocate my shoulders and they go back in. It's a fun party trick, but it becomes a pain when I try to stretch or do certain lifts. Additionally, there's always the fear of, what if it doesn't go back in this time? Story 42. Blessed, tall, with a full head of hair, good physique, and muscle definition. Nerfed, facial features, and a condition on the spectrum. Story 43. I was blessed with a curvy figure but cursed with sensitive, acne-prone skin that scars easily. Story 44. Good legs for running? My spine is in bad shape, and I'm stuck hobbling around because of pain since the age of 9. Story 45. I am naturally a systems thinker. I am very analytical and eager for information. I also feel depressed because reality is challenging, and I struggle to stop thinking about it constantly. Story 46. I'm really good at telling stories. After that, I struggle to form coherent sentences on the subject. Story 47. Thick hair. It's like a mane when it's down. I have never been able to do much with it, so it just gets twisted into a bun. Story 48. Blessed. I have incredibly beautiful hair. Strangers stop me on the street regularly to tell me I have the nicest hair they've ever seen. Additionally, I have a youthful appearance, so I still look in my 20s in my mid-30s. I also have great charisma, which allows me to make friends and connect with people naturally. Cursed, I live with epilepsy. Seizures are challenging, and losing my license suddenly can make life difficult. Additionally, having a youthful face was not advantageous when I was in my mid-20s and still looked like a chubby 12-year-old. On top of that, I have gynecomastia, so no matter how much I focus on my fitness and health, I have noticeable breasts. Asking whose bra is bigger, mine or my girlfriend's, was a common insult I faced growing up. Story 49. Undiagnosed autism and attention deficit disorder, with a significant girth and above-average length. It might be overwhelming for my wife if I lost weight. Story 50. I am physically attractive, and girls have always shown interest. However, I have had no clue what to do with it, which led to various awkward situations during the first half of my life. Fortunately, I figured it out eventually, and I am now happily married with a son. Story 51. Very high pain tolerance can be beneficial for pushing through minor injuries, but it can also lead to minor injuries becoming major or chronic issues. Story 52. I have a full head of hair in my 50s, but I was completely gray by the time I was 30. Story 53. My blood type is O negative, which is somewhat rare and makes me a universal donor and recipient. I also had lymphoma when I was a teenager, which is a form of blood cancer. Cannot donate now. Story 54. I was blessed with an above-average build and an athletic 5 feet 3 inches physique. As a guy, I didn't take many women home from the bar before I got married, but I never had a one-night stand. Story 55. Interesting eye color. They are technically green but can also appear blue, hazel, and even gray. I was affected by an excess of body hair and skin issues. Story 56. Long dark eyelashes and big brown eyes. I feel limited because I have struggled with my weight my entire life. Feels like a waste of good eyes. Story 57. I have a high metabolism. I eat whatever I want and do not gain weight. The issue is that I am a frequent gym goer, and my physique appears to be a normal build. Story 58. A wide penis is appreciated by some, but others may find it difficult to manage, leading to awkward and disappointing encounters for both individuals involved. Story 59. I have a natural talent for long-distance running, but I am as flexible as uncooked spaghetti. Story 60. Blessed. I have fantastic hand-eye coordination, fast reflexes, and strength well above average for my size. These qualities make me deceptively athletic and very good at physical tasks. Nerfed. I am only 5 feet 5 inches tall and have to work hard to maintain my weight. I am also bald. Story 61. I'm thin, so I don't have breasts. I'm 42 but look like I'm 25. People treat me like I'm still a teenager. I have dark, thick eyebrows and lashes, as well as a lot of dark, thick hair on the rest of my body. Story 62. Height and build. I am a tall man, 6 feet 4 inches and 270 pounds. However, I could not use it to my advantage because I have no athletic ability. Story 63. I have 2 unique abilities. The first is that I can sleep at will, but the downside is that I have obsessive-compulsive disorder. The second is that I do not gain weight when I eat. However, the downside is that I experience acid reflux and have a sensitive stomach. Story 64. I'm 6 feet 4 inches tall. It has its benefits, but my back is hurting, and I have hit my head on many things over the years. Items like airplanes are rarely comfortable. Story 65. Blessed. Physically, I have been fortunate. I am tall and stay fit easily. I am fairly conventionally handsome, have good features, great hair, and overall fairly good health. Nerfed. I have a small build no matter what I do. It used to stress me out, but I accept it now. I am genetically predisposed to addiction and have some significant mental health challenges, as well as a high likelihood of skin cancer. Story 66. 95th percentile IQ, physical stamina, good musculature, and a great beard. Balding aggressively at 22, with thrombosed veins, prone to intense nightmares, and pale skin that burns quickly. Story 67. Baby face looks 10 years younger on the outside. Builder skip full of plasterboard and plastic is on fire on the inside. Story 68. I have very pale skin. I work out because I identify as goth and have many tattoos. It is challenging living in a warm country, as I get sunburned easily. The amount of sunscreen I use is impressive. Story 69. I carry all my weight in my butt and thighs. People think it's attractive, but finding pants that fit correctly is challenging. Story 70. Amazing beard. Legendary even. People have written songs about it. Bite. Story 71. Good memory is beneficial for work, but can hinder the ability to think like the person I spoke with 2 years ago who remembers our conversations. Story 72. Height is advantageous, and this perspective is all I've ever known. However, there is a strange dysmorphic element to being a tall woman in our society. Story 73. I am very beautiful but have extreme social anxiety. Most people find me incredibly off-putting, and the only close relationship I have been able to develop in my life is with my partner of 4 years. That includes my family. I am grateful to have found him, but I wish I could connect with anyone else. When we get married, the only guests attending will be there for him. I do not have anyone. Story 74. Whoever was involved in my character creation phase has given me proficiency in hearing and smelling. However, I was also cursed with poor memory, which is quite frustrating. I am unsure what kind of meta this is, but it is not well optimized for the latest version. Story 75. Being a very large man, my size would have been great 200 years ago. Now I just can't fit on a plane or at a desk. Story 76. I am 6 feet 2 inches tall and still growing. My height is advantageous for sports such as American football and soccer, particularly as a defender. However, it can also lead to joint pain, growing pains, and Osgood-Schlatter disease. Height is generally seen as more attractive than shortness. One drawback is having a fast metabolism. I have struggled to gain weight and muscle for a long time. Being skinny diminishes some of the advantages of being tall in terms of appearance. Story 77. I am attractive and pretty smart. I am talented in both academics and fine arts and generally above average in whatever skill I decide to pick up. I speak multiple languages. However, I experience crippling anxiety, which can be overwhelming. Additionally, I have a family history of severe acid reflux that can sometimes feel like major anxiety. Story 78. I am blessed with a fast metabolism and can eat what I want without gaining weight. However, due to ongoing ingrown toenails, I can never wear shoes that reveal my toes. Story 79. Eyes have a nice blue-green color. I was born cross-eyed, and once they fixed that, I developed a severe lazy eye around 5 or 6 years old. I used an eye patch and all that, so my eye looks normal, but my vision just got worse, and now I am blind in that eye. Story 80. I am only allergic to penicillin, which I have discovered at 36 years old, and I rarely get sick. I also have 20/20ths vision. I am 5 feet 7 inches tall. Story 81. I started balding in my teens, but now that I am over 40, I have defined abs even though I do not exercise much beyond swimming for fun. I have weighed 174 pounds for 20 years, except for a period when I dated a girl from Alabama who had unhealthy eating habits, and I joined in. Story 82. Big, intensely colored eyes. People often ask if I am wearing colored contacts, and I am comfortable with eye contact. Others seem surprised when they meet my gaze, which makes me feel like there is something wrong with me. Story 83. I can't grow a beard and have very little body hair. As a man, this feels like both a blessing and a curse at times. Story 84. When I had my nose surgery after years of bullying and self-esteem issues, every doctor was realistic with me that I would not see a drastic improvement in the front due to my thick skin. However, thick skin also means fewer signs of aging over time. People often mistake me for being in high school. Story 85. I have an incredible ability for pattern recognition and the attention span to digest large books and complex music. However, I struggle to remember specifics. For example, I often forget the name of the street that connects to the one I live on and once forgot my girlfriend's name when introducing her at a party. I didn't find out that I have exceptionally high attention deficit disorder until I was 65. Story 86. I had parents with unusual noses. My dad had a ski slope shape with a button on the end, while my mother had a Roman eagle beak. Somehow, my sister and I ended up with nice, straight, normal noses. But they lack character. Story 87. Being flexible is beneficial. It is not about being hypermobile, just very flexible. This flexibility is advantageous for gymnastics, yoga, cleaning hard-to-reach areas, and performing tricky movements. However, it can be detrimental to the joints if one is not careful, especially when young. Story 88. I am naturally muscular, thanks to great genetics on both sides of my family. Unfortunately, as a woman, this has led to people calling me manly for most of my life. Story 89. I have beautiful, healthy, thick hair that has received the most compliments in my life, but it also comes with body hair that is noticeable everywhere. My boyfriend has less and lighter arm hair than I do. Story 90. I have the ability to gain muscle easily as a female. I have a moderately physical job, and massage therapists say I look like a bodybuilder. I want to be fit while retaining some softness and femininity. Story 91. I have a great memory. I can remember every single incident or remark I've received over my 36 years of life. Story 92. I have a pronounced posterior that I have been told is aesthetically pleasing. Pilonidal cysts are unpleasant. Story 93. Polycystic ovary syndrome is great for deadlifting and gym gains. However, it is associated with numerous medical issues. Every single medical problem a person with polycystic ovary syndrome faces seems to relate back to the condition. Hair loss, polycystic ovary syndrome, hirsutism. I know the culprit. Leaking milk randomly without breastfeeding. Polycystic ovary syndrome strikes again. Weight gain, insulin resistance, hypothyroidism, constant pelvic pain, crying episodes, skin tags, irregular menstrual cycles, ovulation bleeding, high blood pressure, disrupted sleep, headaches, brain fog, and ovarian cysts are also common. The stress of it is never-ending. Story 94. Low blood pressure. Believe me, it's a challenging combination. I have to be cautious to avoid passing out. Story 95. I have incredibly good luck when I need it, or the self-awareness to acknowledge my good fortune, especially when someone arrives home. Additionally, I inherited difficult menstrual cycles. Story 96. I was blessed with good legs and slim hips and thighs. The downside is that I have no backside, and my waist measurement is larger than my hip measurement. Story 97. My arms and legs are skinny no matter what, but my torso looks like the Lionel armor in Elden Ring. Story 98. Medium build, average height, and ordinary looks, with a slightly indeterminate age. A generic white male I should consider robbing banks. Story 99. I was born without fingers on my left hand, and my arm has a thick appearance. The answer to your first thought is probably yes. Story 100. My eyesight improved, and I no longer need glasses, unlike the majority of my family. I have flexibility but experience horrible joint pain. I am tall and suffer from significant back pain. I have a perfect hairline and soft hair, but I also have occasional wiry dark hair that frizzes. Story 101. I have never had a cavity, even though my oral hygiene is basic at best. However, I do have bipolar disorder. Story 102. I do not have to work at keeping my weight consistent. Because I do not exercise, I am not in good shape, even though I appear to be. Story 103. The ability to learn new technology quickly can only be achieved when motivated by a strong desire to prove others wrong. However, I often forget what I have learned once that motivation fades. Story 104. Super wide feet provide excellent balance. Nobody manufactures size 13 8E, which is 8 extra wide. I have to go up a size to 14 and still special order from New Balance directly to get size 6E shoes. Unfortunately, they still do not fit well. Story 105. I can quickly become above average in most physical hobbies I pursue, such as Ninja Warrior, parkour, taekwondo, and gymnastics. However, I often reach a plateau until I choose my next obsession. It's fun, though. Story 106. I have had a thick and healthy uterine lining for several days. I have received compliments on its thickness and overall health. I am experiencing secondary infertility, as I have been unable to conceive a second child after years of medical intervention. Story 107. I have many talents and a strong self-criticism that prevents me from showcasing them. I am improving, though. I just need to continue stepping out of my comfort zone. Story 108. I was blessed with height, an hourglass figure, freckles, gray eyes, a small nose, and full lips as a woman. The trade-off? I am obese. Story 109. I have a strong jaw and an apparently classically attractive face, though I am not expressing that as my opinion. However, I have poor chest genetics where all my excess fat seems to accumulate. This has made me continually self-conscious about my chest. My father has the same genetics, and only God knows how that has affected me in my 20s. I am determined to overcome this. My ex really helped me push those boundaries. Story 110. For both dyslexia, it makes me excellent at systems-level thinking and has been a great benefit in my policy career. However, reading is definitely difficult. My dad was the same. He worked in government policy for 45 years and was very successful. Story 111. I have light blue eyes, almost like ice, and I often receive compliments on them. On the other hand, my family has a history of spinal issues. Story 112. It takes a lot of work to get things going. I require a vigorous partner, and my wife is not meeting my needs anymore. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.